Thank you so much, Mr. Didonson. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the beautiful introduction. So tonight it's going to be the beginning of a journey of transformation for many of us, especially as far as website development using no code is concerned. And when we're talking about website development using no code, we might want to start with why no code. Of course, there's no need for me to introduce what website development is about. But then, why no code? Coding is a general way that most of us are familiar with when it comes to either software development or website development or even mobile apps development. As a matter of fact, I'm sure some of us on this call tonight must have explored that route before now, trying to learn code. But one thing I've discovered is that there's nothing you set your mind to that you cannot master. That is true. There's nothing you commit yourself to that you cannot get the best of. That's very correct. But then it's also very important for you to stay in your area of natural talents, things that you are naturally gifted at, to emerge as the best. There are some of us who, if it comes to running, maybe we joined a race and we are to run, we might not be able to really do well with that. But when it comes to mathematical calculations and competitions, we're always there. So you realize that children have different intelligences, and so it is when it comes to the world of website development too. There are some people who have inclination for designs. They can relate easily with designs than just writing some lines of codes. Well, in my own case, I started website development learning HTML, CSS, and it was when we got into PHP that the whole thing became very complex for me. And those of us here who have attempted to learn programming languages will relate very well with what I'm talking about. So when it goes to PHP, I realized that no, this it's not as if I cannot learn this, but this is going to take me a while, especially considering all the things I was doing then. So at that instant, I came across a no-code development platform called Joomla, Joomla. The platform is still in existence till now. So I started learning how to develop websites with Joomla. From there, I came across another one called Drupal. The class has started already because I'm mentioning some tools now that uh, you might want to check out later. I just dropped them in the chat box. So even though we are not touching these two tools tonight, but I just found it needful to mention them. So I came across these platforms and I felt, wow, so what I was trying to do with codes, I can easily achieve them with this. And I have a simple philosophy. The philosophy is if somebody has already invented the bulb, do I need to go and invent my own, or I should just get what has been invented already, especially if it is something affordable and make use of it? So that's actually what led me into the journey of no code development. So from there, I learned how to develop with WordPress. I learned how to develop Shopify websites, how to develop websites with Wix and Webflow, Framer, and so on like that. So tonight, we are going to be delving into that in details and not just delving into it. We're even going to have some hands-on classes or practicals. So when we say no code development, we're talking about you developing apps, websites, or digital products without having to write codes. But the way you do it, it has to be in a visual development environment. And what do we mean by that? We call it WYSIWYG. Let me type that because those are terms we must be familiar with. WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So This is what WYSIWYG is. And what that implies is that when you are in the development environment, you see what you are developing. That is the problem with code. Some of us are very visual. I know if I should carry out the survey here, how many of us have understanding or are familiar with graphics design? I won't be surprised if many of us are. Because if you are somebody who is interested in learning no code development, that means you have some background in visuals. So this no code is basically about learning in that environment such that it is what you see that you get. You understand? So that's what no code is about. And then why does it matter? It matters because you don't have to be able to write codes before you can create something. As a matter of fact, I've developed more than 200 websites in the past 7 years. So it's something that I can really attest to when it comes to empowerment. That even though you are not a developer in the sense of writing codes, but you can still call yourself a website developer because you have mastered these tools. So that's one. Then aside from that is that there is speed. What should take you, let's say, 3 weeks to develop, you can develop it in 1 week because you have all the tools available. It's just a matter of dragging and dropping. So, and of course, it is also cost effective. Cost effective in two ways. Even as a developer, if you want to develop, you might need to get some APIs, you might need to get some lines of code. It will take you burning more fuel and so on like that. But with no code, those things are sorted because in a short while, you develop what needs to be developed and you move on. So that's a major thing. And then when it comes to the advantages of no code, there's something we call prototyping. We're going to see more of that in our next class. But then let me just quickly talk about it. Those of us who have a background in UI UX, I mean user interface and user interaction design, we understand what is called prototypes. When you want to develop an app or a website, the way you want it to appear, it is faster with no code development because you can say, okay, I want this there, I want this there, I want this there. We start tonight. Meanwhile, if it's to write code, many of the people who write code don't even know how to create the layout. That's what led to the rise of UI UX designers. So, well, don't let me bother more on that. We're going to get into that in our next class, like I said. Another thing is it's flexible, so you can make changes easily without having to go and code. And for this class, we are not going to be learning just how to develop platforms. We're also going to be learning how to sell them. This is a selling point for you dealing with clients. Most clients that we deal with they want to have some measure of control over the platform you develop for them. So if you develop a website for the client, he wants to be able to make changes on the website without having to come to you each time. Saturday, that's like 2 days ago, I was speaking with somebody who is a real estate company CEO. He has a website, but the challenge with the website is that the website was built with codes. And now the man wants to set up landing pages, but nobody could just say, okay, let me quickly make the change. So I was contacted and I was like, okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, we need to set up. Just leave the company website the way it is. You cannot make changes to it. It is more or less like a static website. All the information are just there. Nobody can make any change. But with a no-code development platform, you can easily make changes as if you are using your Facebook platform. So that's really a selling point, not just for you as a developer now, but to your clients. So I hope you pick something there. Then when it comes to collaboration, it's easier to relate. Okay, we want to build MailChimp, we want to add a newsletter to this. We want to. How many of us got the emails that were sent out today? It's something that was linked with the website, with the forms that you submitted. That was what made you to get that email. So all of that is something that brings about ease of collaboration when you are using a no-code platform. Okay, and of course, the projects that you build can be scaled. Um, Somebody was asking some times ago, okay, we build this project with WordPress, and later on, I want to add more features. Is it possible? Yes, definitely. You can always scale and add even more and more features to the no code development platform. Okay, so I just want us to follow because all this foundation we're laying is very important before we go deeper into the practicals. We are not here to tell stories. We are not here to, in fact, I can't just wait to be done with all these slides and then we get into the real deal, especially from the next class. Okay, so use cases of no code development. Usually, small business websites are built with no code development. I'm sure if you look through maybe your contact list or you check through your streets, you find a business or another that you feel these people will need a website. Many of them, if you are to get somebody who will have to code for them, it's something that will take like forever. But then with the no code tool, in just 1 hour, you can develop a website for them. You will see that tonight. Even in just 1 hour, it's possible. So can easily service small business. We call them small and medium businesses, so they can be serviced. You understand? Aside from that, e-commerce stores, and for e-commerce stores, many of us here would be familiar with Shopify. Shopify is a no-code platform, and it's mainly for e-commerce. The same thing is applicable to on Squarespace. There's Weebly, we have Weebly, we have Scare, we have which one again? Then WooCommerce on WordPress. So all of these are to build e-commerce stores where people can sell directly online and then make money come into their accounts directly too. So probably some of us will take that as a project in this training that we're having. Then landing pages. Landing pages are actually becoming hotcakes recently because everybody wants to market their product. So it is one thing for you to have a website with pages about us, home, contact us, which one again, blog, and then services. All those information are there. Maybe the blog is where you change, you make updates regularly, and so on. But then when you now have a particular product you want to sell, you want to write copy, a copy that will convince whoever is reading the page or going through the page to be able to buy into what you are trying to sell. So for this, marketers, especially companies like, okay, let's say maybe real estate companies who are into sales of vehicles, companies who are into who actually have specific products that they sell from time to time, they will always need a landing page for the products they sell. If you go right now on Fiverr or Upwork and you check for landing page developers, I'm not even talking about website developers, I'm not talking about WordPress developers, just check for landing page developers. You will see several gigs. It's something you should take interest in learning. And then aside from that, we have custom tools that can also help the processes we do. And when we talk about custom tools, we're talking about building features into the website. And most of the time, we use plugins or extensions to achieve that. Okay, we will still get into more of that later in the future. So now let's quickly look at some of those popular no-code tools. So when it comes to no-code tools, you see I listed 6 of them here. We have Webflow, we have Wix, we have WordPress, we have Weebly, we have Shopify, we have Squarespace. But the truth is there are several of them, and that's why I said and several other tools. So there are several of them that are used for no code development. We have Bubble that is used for mobile app development too, and lots. I can't even just count them all. We have lots of platforms. So, but for the purpose of this training, we won't be looking at all the platforms because Well, the first thing is that what you learn from a platform can be transferred into another platform. You understand? For example, the basic thing, the basic principle that guides no code development, like I mentioned earlier, is we see weak. What you see is what you get. The very old platform that's been using this concept is called Adobe Dreamweaver. I don't know if how many of us are familiar with that particular app. It's one of the Adobe suites. It's called Adobe Dreamweaver. So you just drag what you want and then it will generate the code by itself. You get so, but these platforms are here now and they do better. So before we go on in the slide, I want us to just quickly check some websites. Page we are on is called Webflow. Perhaps some of us are hearing this for the first time. It's fine. And in case you are familiar with the platform before now too, it's great. So Webflow is a no-code platform that you can use to develop websites. You see, they said more than just a website builder. With Webflow, visual platforms, marketer, designer, and developers alike can create, optimize, and scale web experiences that get results. So that's Webflow. Then Wix. Um, this is Wix, Wix.com. Create a website without limits. Build and scale with confidence. From a powerful website builder to advanced business solutions, we've got you covered. Get started. Okay. Now, WordPress.com. Who's just joining the class now? Okay. WordPress.com. Let me share that. It says WordPress without limits. Everything you need to build and grow any website all in one place. Okay, now let's see WordPress.org. Now, meet WordPress, the open source. Just take note of this. The open source publishing platform of choice of millions of websites worldwide, from creators and small businesses to enterprises. I'll come back to this, but let me just quickly open the other pages for us to see. Now, this is Weebly. Weebly is e-commerce by scale. So, majorly build a professional website that grows with your business. This is mainly for e-commerce, you see, and it works with scale. Okay, let's see Shopify. Making commerce better for everyone. Shopify is supporting the next generation of entrepreneurs, the world's biggest brands, and everyone in between. Shopify, all you just have to do is basically open an account with them, and then you can set up your shop and you have a link. Okay, and then we have Squarespace. Squarespace, designed to sell. Designed to sell. Get your free website trial today. No credit card required. Now, if we look through all of these, there's something that is common to them. Webflow, Wix, Weebly, Shopify, and Squarespace. You can develop websites for free with them. Even WordPress, you can develop websites for free with them. So for this training, I would expect that at the end of the day, all of us have not less than 2 or 3 different different websites. Excuse me, 2 or 3 different websites that we have built, because you can do that for free. You understand? And some of us who want to take it a step further, we're going to get into that too. So we have WordPress.com and WordPress.org. What's the difference between the two? On WordPress.com, you can simply sign up, get started, and create an account with them, develop your website on it. When you do that, what happens is that your website is being hosted on WordPress. Um, when we talk about website development, this should be in the next class, but I will quickly touch on it now. We have what we call domains and we have what we call hosting. Domain is the name of your website, like jasperdigitals.com. That's the domain. But hosting is where the website is living, where the website is resident, where you put all the files for the website. So if I want to put it in layman term, I would say your domain name is your address, and that's why we call it website address. Your domain name is your home address, while your host is the land on which you built your house. So that's the simplest way I can explain it. So when you want to build a website, you want to build a home, where you go to buy your land is the host. So you might decide, okay, I want to buy my own land on Webflow. That's where the host is. I want to buy my own land on WordPress. Well, in this sense, it's only applicable for when you are building a free website on them. But we have different hosts. We have GoDaddy, we have Namecheap, we have HostGrant, we have Hostinja, we used to have Google Host in Nigeria, which is now Go54 or something. So those are real host companies, but in this sense, Webflow, Wix, WordPress.com, they can all host your website. Okay, so having touched that, I would like to move on, especially because of our time. So, okay, sorry. So now we are focusing on these three major platforms, and as a matter of fact, for this training, we'll be focusing eventually on WordPress. But the question is, why WordPress? The reason why we'll be focusing on WordPress majorly is because um, more than 70% of the websites all over the world are built with WordPress. All the websites all over the world, more than 70% of them are built with WordPress. So what that implies is that is the commonest, is the highest one in demand. So while all these other platforms, it's important for us to be aware of them, then you should pay attention to WordPress as you also learn other platforms. The reason why it's important for you to learn the other platforms is that some clients will specifically request for, I need a Webflow website, I need a Wix website. I was sharing with somebody recently, a nurse from Canada got in touch with me and needed a Wix website. Before that point in time, I'd only done one Wix website, but he needed a Wix website and I had to develop one for him. So I did develop one and he made use of that. Okay. So Webflow, the visual development is there, responsive designs, it has CMS capabilities. CMS means content management system. So, and it's ideal for the designers and developers who want control over every detail. They want to be making corrections and be doing the edit and all. Wix is a drag and drop editor. Not really just that okay, everything will come ready, but you can drag it, drop it, and build whatever you want to build. Don't forget what I mentioned earlier. What you see is what you get. So beginners will find Wix quite attractive because with that you can easily build and quickly build whatever you want to build. So WordPress also has visual development, it has drag and drop, it has templates, but more, it has a very large ecosystem of plugins. That means that we can develop as many features as possible with WordPress. If you want to develop a social media website, for example, you can develop it with WordPress. If you want to develop an e-commerce website, you can develop it with WordPress. If you want to develop a portfolio website, you can develop it with WordPress. So the list is actually endless, and that's why most people find it as an option because it gives you the room to be able to do more. I hope you understand. Okay, that's enough on that. Okay. So then, how do you decide the right tool to use for your no-code platform? One, it depends on how complex the project is. Webflow can serve for complex projects. The same thing is applicable to WordPress. Even though I put for moderate here, but WordPress too will serve for very complex projects. As a matter of fact, sometimes even more. But Webflow, the reason why I'm putting Webflow here first is because recently there are security issues with WordPress. You know, because it is common, there are a lot of websites on it. So hackers are trying to focus on WordPress websites to just find a way to break the security codes into it and find a way to penetrate. So that is really a major issue with WordPress, and it's only because of that that we feel recently that okay, if you want to build a very complex project or very sensitive project, you may not do it on WordPress, but there are ways which we whip out the security of the websites. For example, some of the websites I managed, one of them was hacked recently, I think 2 months ago. The website was hacked, and then they leveraged on comments. Through comments, they introduced some codes through which they hijacked the website. So that will require an experienced developer to fix. And of course, I was able to fix the challenge we had with the website and bring it back and even make it more secured. Well, that's on that. Budget. WordPress offers a very free range of plugins. Meanwhile, it is for Webflow and Wix, it is very limited. If you want more, then you have to pay much more. Okay? Alright, let me move on. Let me move on. So it's getting more interesting now. Okay, I'm sharing the tab now. So click on the Get Started button. Of course, we are all getting started together. I have to use another browser for this. So so that we all will be on the same page. So click on Get Started on Wix.com. And on getting started, you can either continue with Google or you sign up properly. Let me quickly touch this because I was working with a project for an NGO that was based in the UK. That was last year, and we made a mistake with this step that you're about to take. I was the one who made the mistake, and later on I realized that oh no, I should have done better. Most of the websites I was signing up to then, I was just using continue with Google, continue with Google. So while we were creating the hosting account for that particular NGO, the challenge is that okay, well let me mention the problem first. Let me mention what happened first before talking about the challenge. So I just clicked on continue with Google to sign up for that particular NGO. But when you sign up to a platform with Google, there's an implication for it. Who wants to tell me what that implication is? Anybody? Is there anybody? When you sign in with Google, you sign up with Google, or you continue with Google, what implication will that imply? Okay, well, not to waste time on that, the implication is simple. It means anytime you want to log in to that platform, your Google account must be logged in on the device. So if you are not with your laptop and you want to log in to that website, You must first log in your Google account before you can log in into the platform. So for this NGO, the challenge is that it is not just one person that wants to be managing the website, that wants to be managing the hosting account I meant. If it's for the website, there's a way we can create administrators, but in this case, for the hosting account, multiple people needed to have access to it, and I already used continue with Google. So the implication was that all of them needed to have access to the Google account, which was not really appropriate. So if you know that, okay, all I want to be doing is on my laptop, yes, just click on continue with Google and sign up. If you want to have the liberty of signing in anywhere you are, maybe on your phone, on your laptop, you travel, you find a laptop, you can quickly work with it and all, then enter your email, confirm your email, enter your password and confirm your password. Okay, so we can proceed to that next step now. If you have not already proceeded before now. Okay, but in my own case I will just click on continue with Google. Now it's asking me, who am I creating for? Is it for myself, for my business, or my friend, or for a client as a freelancer or an agency? For now, I would recommend you just say maybe for yourself or for a friend, because what all these choices do is that if you just pick maybe for a client or something, they believe you are a professional, they might want to charge you. Well, they might not charge, but just do for yourself now until you begin to charge clients. Now, they are using AI already. It says, bring your ideas to life with AI. Tell us about the site you are creating and get a personalized dashboard with everything you need to manage it. If we do that now, it will not give us insight into some of the other things we should see. So you can just say set up without charts. Okay. Now, what kind of website do you want to create? Is it an online store, a portfolio, a blog, consultant, technology company, restaurant, events? For me, I'll pick events because I'm just imagining that, okay, maybe the program I want to do, maybe there's an event I want to organize and I need a landing page for it. Most people in the speaking, training, coaching space do events from time to time and they create landing pages for them. Okay, but whichever one is applicable to you, if yours should be an online store, you can pick an online store. When you pick an online store, it will bring tools that you need to set up an online store. When you pick a portfolio website, it will bring tools you need for that. If it's a blog you pick, the same thing. So I'll just pick events. I just pick events planner or just events and continue. So the dashboard is being prepared. Okay, I want you to pick something else. I want somebody to pick portfolio. I want somebody to pick those of us with our desktop because I will ask you to share your screen. We want to see the dashboard after it is loaded. So somebody can pick portfolio, somebody can pick blog, and let's see what we have on the dashboards. Or pick any other thing that interests you, maybe online store.
Yeah, hello, sir. Good evening. Yes. So, my question is, you mentioned about there's two websites for WordPress. So you mentioned WordPress.org and WordPress.com. So that's my question. That what is the difference between both websites, sir?
Oh, thank you. I thought I'd actually touched it, but thank you for bringing us to that. Let me quickly explain the difference. And that difference is going to really make a lot of impact on our decisions and why we are proceeding with the usage of WordPress. You see, Webflow, Wix, WordPress, Weebly, Shopify, Framer, Squarespace, all these platforms I mentioned, they all have the feature of you signing up on them to create a domain name and host your website on them. In case you have come across a website that looks like taiwo.wix.com or bola.webflow.com or johnson.shopify.com, those websites are hosted on those platforms. For example, if it's taiwo.wordpress.com, that means that website is hosted on wordpress.com. You understand? So all these websites I mentioned, they are free. You can set them up for free. So on wordpress.com, that's where you can set up websites for free, just like you can do on wix.com, on shopify.com, on webflow.com, and so on. So that's what wordpress.com is about. So it is their own hosts or hosting service. But besides that, WordPress.org is for developers. And when I say developers, both developers that code and the ones that don't code, because sometimes, the focus of this training, we said no code website development. Sometimes WordPress can be a low code. Let me type that. Not no code now. It can be a low code platform or low code website development. What that means is this: if you are developing a WordPress website and you know how to code, you can still use WordPress. I was working on a project recently. As a matter of fact, that was 2 weeks ago. It's more or less a personal project, and the feature we wanted to build, we needed Python. We needed Python to build that feature we wanted to build. I don't know how to write Python language, even though it's quite simple and I'm learning it at the moment, but I don't really know how to write Python. So what did I do? I had to go to ChatGPT to write Python code, and I brought the code into WordPress. So that is to say that WordPress.org is larger than just creating an account for free and then hosting your domain and using it. No, it is a platform for developers. And the way it works, by the time we get into the second week, I mean the last class of this week, and all we'll be doing in the second week, you will understand more. To if you want to use WordPress to develop a website, you don't even need to develop the website when you are online. You can develop everything offline. When it is now ready, you will now upload it online. So there's no wastage of data, no nothing. You just build everything on your laptop. But how will you be able to do that? Is through this WordPress.org. That button you are looking at the top right that says Get WordPress. If you click on that button, what will happen is that WordPress will be downloaded to your laptop. We will get into that from the third class. I mean the third class this week. We are having 3 classes this week and 3 classes next week. So from the third class of this week, we're going to get into that. You understand? So when you click on Get WordPress, you will download the software on your laptop, and with that, you can continue working. So WordPress.org is the platform for full of resources. See, we have themes, we have plugins, we have patterns, we have blogs, we have open verse. You're going to see more of what all of that means. So is the platform that you can use to get WordPress as a developer and work with it to do anything you want to do. So if I get WordPress from this platform, it doesn't have to be taiwo.wordpress.com. It can be jasperdigitals.com. And of course, that was even where jasperdigitals.com, for example, is built with WordPress I downloaded from the platform. You understand? I hope I didn't overflow it, but I hope you understand the explanation. Thank you for calling my attention back to that. And please, in case you have any question, just like he asked, you can always drop it in the chat box or even raise your hand and I'll call you to speak. Okay. So we were on Wix.com. So for those of us who chose portfolio or chose what other feature, those of us who raised our hands the other time, I would like us, I am sure Uluwadara, right? I'm sure you raised your hand then, right? Um, I'm sure who else raised his hand then. So please, can you share your screen? I want to see what your dashboard looks like.
Mm,
Okay. Uh, we can't. Okay, it was events that you
yes.
also created. Okay, okay, fine. The truth is, whether you connect with your laptop now or not, this is an assignment you must submit. And let me quickly mention, you must have seen it in your email today. I sent an email to us before the beginning of the class. Um, if you do all that is required of you by attending the meetings or trainings and also by submitting all your tasks, that's when you will qualify for the advanced. Because the truth is we may not be able to cover everything, but we will cover things that even if you don't join the advanced class or the advanced session, you can begin to create websites for free. You can begin to create no code websites, yes, for what we're going to learn in these 2 weeks. But then we're going to have another advanced training of another 3 weeks. Well, I've not decided how long it will take, but 3 weeks most likely. And it is also free. I'm not charging for these trainings at all. It's also going to be free, but I don't want the general house. I want people who have proven themselves, who have proven to be committed, who will be part of that. So that's why it's very important for you to ensure that you do all the tasks required of you so that you qualify to be part of the advanced class. Okay. All right, let's continue from where we stopped. So I'm to create my first event, and let me just name it Jasper No Code class. That's the event I want to create. So I can click on continue. Do I want people to get tickets? Maybe set pricing, the capacity, and so on like that. Or I want it to just be registration only. So let it just be registration only because I don't need tickets. You, if you need tickets, click on you want people to click tickets. Now, the network is really slow. It's slow. It shouldn't take this long to load. But as I'm doing it here, I want you to follow suit on your laptop and do the same thing. Okay? We're working on Wix.com. I didn't expect it to take this long, honestly. Okay. So, what time is it going to be? I'll just say it's an online meeting. It's going to take place. The next training is taking place on 11th. No, this is not loading. Okay, let me just pick September 11, 9 p.m. You can see that, right? It's not going to be a recurrent event and it's going to happen online. Uh, we will help you connect your virtual event to Wix live videos. I don't want. Let's just click continue. So, what do I need? Do they need the sitting map? No. event schedule, mobile apps. No, I don't need all of this. Let me just click on it. So they said I'm all set. Now I just click on dashboard. The reason why all these options came up is so that by the time you start the development, those features you have selected, what you need to drag to make them happen will come up. I think I'll just close this now. It's not responding. What's happening? Let me just refresh. Okay, so I clicked on design a site. Okay, so just go to the bottom part and click on design a site. So this will come up. And because of our time and because we want something very fast, we will design. You can design with AI. Okay, let's do this. Let somebody on the call click on generate a design with AI. I will click on pick a template. Okay, I just clicked on pick a template. Who shared the screen the other time? Uh, Oluwadara, right? You shared your screen the other time. Please click on generate with AI. Who else is on his laptop? Did you click on
Yes.
generate with AI? Okay, beautiful. I also need somebody who will be able to share his or her screen. We are on wix.com, so if you can share your screen, click on generate with AI. I want us to learn together. Okay, John Pickford, please click on generate with AI. Now, so there are two ways we can go about it. You know, I clicked on generate design with templates, and these are different templates of events programs. I can just pick any one. This one is looking like a bridal salon. Okay, this is a conference. This is a music festival. Okay, and this is a wedding invitation. So if somebody wants to create a website for wedding invitation, this is one. But I think the one that appeals to me of all these um, is this one that has conference. Although it's giving me this one as the best match, let me try and work with it. Let me try and work with this that was given to me. So I just click on edit with that. Now, while it is loading, I want somebody who clicked on what do we call it? Design with AI. Okay, Oluwadara is doing something amazing there. Can we all see Oluwadara's screen? So tell us what you did. You had to write a prompt, right?
Yes. You said we should click on generate design using AI, and I clicked on it, and it brought this,
Okay,
and this is
okay,
what I saw.
okay. Now, the way it works when you are designing with AI is you will have to write the details of what you want and then it generates it. It works like magic. So once you write the prompts and then you get it. Okay, thank you, Oluwada. My intention for us for this class is to actually um, develop a landing page with Wix. You see that on the screen, and aside from that, you build a website with Webflow. So if you can do the two, using the foundation we have touched on. We will still look into how to fully develop, add different features and all of that. But I'm just trying to use this to push us to work, to explore. Because really, these things, it's not as if you will learn it by just watching me teach. No, you will learn it by doing it. That's why they are hands-on assignments. If you just participate in all these classes all through and you don't build anything, you don't know anything. Because sometimes when you see people explaining, you'll be like, ah, this thing appears simple. But you wouldn't know that it is not simple at all until you begin to try it. It's when you begin to try it that you now realize that this thing is not as simple as it appeared when they were teaching us. But when you practice and practice and practice, you will make mistakes, correct your mistakes, and then get it right. Okay. Um, Let me see if Wix has loaded. Okay, I think it's loaded now. I don't need AI. I told you already. So this is the page that was loaded, and you will see that this page really didn't have so much, and it may not look beautiful as it is. You see, it just has the header where we have the title of the website and what it is about. So let's quickly edit this. You see, I clicked on that and click on this pencil to edit. So where we have the launch, I hope you can see my screen. I'm changing it to Jasper no code websites development. It will be too long for the space there, so I'll just say Jasper no code websites. Let me see web development. Now, this one is not music. We see, let's just delete where music matters. I don't need that. So what do we do next? Now this is like section intro. I don't want that image because that image is about, it's nothing development. So I need to get another background image that will blend more with what I'm trying to build. I hope you are following. All these are not really related. I don't know why they are hell bent on making me to use AI. I don't want to use AI. So I'll go and search for images from Unsplash. Unsplash is a free website where you can get images. So let me just type web development. Okay, so now I come here, click on the generators and say build websites. I didn't touch on this the other time. You realize that my brand color is blue, but for this, I hope it's not limited. Okay. I expected it to change immediately. Okay. So this is a container box. I want it to be larger, and then I want to customize it. So you will realize that I'm already playing with this. I don't want the highlight. I don't need it. So there should be no highlight. It should just be white color. Okay. Build website. Friday. Wednesday, 9 p.m. So just as I'm doing now, that's what you basically do while running through the whole website. Upcoming show, I might edit this and add maybe the topics I wanted us to cover and add them here. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to beat the time. Um, at the end of the day, let's assume I've done the customization. At least what I've done briefly, you saw how I was able to change an image, you saw how I was able to modify the text, and you saw how I was able to modify a layout. So all of that can be done. You can do all of that to cut across the whole page. I'm sure if I should continue now, the time will not really permit us to, and it's not really much. Let me try. Now, this particular section, we should edit it. I don't like the black background. We should first change that background from black to um, let me change it to white. So you see that basically what I'm trying to do is to play around with the customization. So I will leave us to try to do this. I know for many of us, it might not be something we do often, but then we're going to get into more of design layouts, concepts, and so on in our next class so that we understand, okay, how do I get the right color to use? Aside from color, how should my layout look like? So this is one of the things we're going to be looking at in our next class. And aside from that, we're going to be looking at domains and hosting. So those are the two major things we'll be covering in our next class. So I want you to prepare for them. But this, let me just publish. At least you get how I edited texts, how I edited layouts and shapes and all. If you look at these first two aspects I touched, it's not yet perfect, but it's no longer looking like what it was when we got on it, right? So that's how you just touch, make all the necessary edits, and once you are done with all of that, the next thing you do is to click on publish. Now you see it's giving me a free domain name, so I'll just call this no code, no code, and then save. So now the website is saved and we just publish. If I just dropped the link on our WhatsApp group. I just dropped the link on our WhatsApp group. If you check it now, you will see that website live. And that's the same way it is going to be for the ones you have also created. Okay. So proceed, work on your own projects too, and then let's see what you have. Don't forget this was a slide. I was supposed to edit the three slides, change color, change images, but I did one. That's why the remaining two are still showing details of the music events. So that is for templates, and we saw for AI. Once you enter the prompts, AI will create what you needed it to do. Okay. So we will stop here today. We won't be able to go into Webflow, but I want to put it as a challenge to you. Just the way we played around Wix, you can try and do the same thing with Webflow and share your link. The beautiful thing about Webflow is that once you even log in, once you sign up, there's a tutorial that will come up at the right side of the desktop you're working on, that will be guiding you through each step to take. You know, on these weeks now, it's just brought either AI or templates, but on Webflow, there will be a tutorial on step by step that you need to follow to develop something with Webflow. So you can try it out too, get started for free, create a website for free, and share the link to the group. So I'll be expecting to see what we have created. Some of us who shared our screen, who were working on something, please you can share that to the group. Let's see what you did. And also, once we are through with this class, I would like to have your feedback. How was the class? What did you learn? What would you like us to improve on? what would you like us to do better, or please you can give your feedbacks in the group. Okay, so thanks so much for your time and attention.